Wheeler III is founder president of the ONYXCON Foundation, going live for the second time today, I think it is. And I purposefully changed my hat for y'all so y'all know it's a different. Yeah, okay, is this the same day? He had on that same shirt, but he didn't have on the vest yet. Oh, wait a minute, he did have on the vest later, but he had on the fisherman hat. Oh, now he got on the Navy flat cap, you know what I'm saying? The smooth Kango style, as they were gonna say if they were in the ATL. That's what they're gonna say if they're in Atlanta. Everything like this is a Kango in Atlanta. Even if it ain't made by Kango. This ain't made by Kango, but every hat is designed in this shape, form, whether it's this version of it, the circular flat one, hell, even the Apple hat. Well, Apple might get straight up, this is an Apple, especially if they're old school like my parents are, they're gonna say Apple hat. But other than that, that's a Kango, man, Kango. Paperboy hat, you might hear something for, again, that's more old school, grandparents era and parents, but everybody else goes, that's Kango, man, that's Kango. Yeah. So anyway, what's happening, y'all? What's happening? Let me get my signage here. Get everything just right for the chat. Throw them up, no yoga mat. Chat. I'm 30 for 30 for 30 for 30. I'm 30 for 30 for. Yeah. You better know that. Check it. If you want to have something to say, you better be part of my way. That's right, you better be part of the monetization nation. If you ain't helping us get where we going, I don't give a hell what you talking about. I really don't. And if you ain't got respect about you, you can hit the subscribe button, but you gonna find, oh, you subscribe so you control? Bah! Oh man, you don't understand. Blocked in the worst of all ways. That's how this goes. Bah! Real quick. real quick. I am not joking. You can ask a load of victims. Sometimes I take a walk through the digital graveyard. I say, oh, look at all these skeletons. Ooh. Let's keep it digital. What's happening, y'all? All over the world, all my peoples, everywhere, wherever you at. What's up? Shout out to the whole wide world. So here's why I had to go live again. I really wanted to say thank you to the monetization nation, y'all. We at 1640 something. Like, we are so close to 1,650, which is, to me, easily to be said. I keep saying we're gonna hit 2,000. Over 2,000 into the new year, which is amazingly awesome. We just need that number to match the watch time hours. That's all we need. 20 people in the building right now. Give a hand to yourself. 20 people in the building. 20. Wow, that's impressive. Now it's 10, just because I had to shout them out. People don't like to be acknowledged when they're trolls. They dip. Let's see if we have any more trolls. We're looking at 10. Can we get it down to 0? Let's see. Uh-oh, we got some real ones. They don't like being called trolls, but they know they are. Maybe they're not. See, I'm testing y'all. My real ones hanging on. They laughing. They like, please, man, ain't no troll. I love your channel. Thank you. All right. Put the love up if you really do. Appreciate you. So check this out. We still don't have no thumbs up, though. How I know if you ain't got no thumbs up? We got 6 looking. We was at 20. I told you it was going to cut down like this. Look at it. In a minute, it's going to be down to the same old one. It's going to be that one person. I don't know who the hell they are, where they are in the world. I don't know if it's the older business associate that wish they hadn't have severed the ties with ONYXCON, and they cry every day about it, so they still like to lurk me and wish they were my friend, but they're not, you know. Or is it that honey that I used to date that can't believe I'm still doing what I'm doing? And yep, I'm still going, I'm determined. I'm going to make it. It ain't going to stop. Can't stop, won't stop. See that it was 6, now it's down to 4. Just keep, I don't care. I don't care about that. I care about the result. See, we need that thumbs up. It's 4, so it ought to be 4 thumbs up. Where they at? You see what I'm saying? 3, that's what I like it though when it goes. I like when it goes down. Cause I don't need fair weather friends. I need real ones. We going through storms like it's about to do out here. We going through storms of life, baby. We need real soldiers. We need people who are here for the real deal. We need people who want to sit on the back of my yacht one day because they was always part of it. You notice that I didn't flinch. I didn't make that like it was a joke. I'm dead ass serious. I know what I'm going to do in this life. All I need is the resources. I tell y'all all the time, the goals What's the rule? This is when, if you was a subscriber, you could say something. So you need to subscribe first. And you probably wonder, well, I just subscribe. Why can't I talk? Because I make you wait minutes to say something. Because I'm gonna still make sure you ain't no damn troll. Because see, trolls, there's different levels of troll. Trolls, see, they all gone now. They're like, damn, you mean that's what he be doing? That's what I be doing, you mother. Yeah, there it is. That's weird as hell. How is their love going up now? But okay, here it is. That was like a late response for the one that was up here now. There it is, 1 thumbs up. So it must be a real one in the 5. I see 5 eyes, must be that one last real one. I still see love going up. That's the real one. There we go. Thank you. You're going to find out who they are. You just got to keep talking until they, you got to weed them out. You got to spray them with the raid. I don't even, you know what? I say raid just because people know what that is. But you know everything. Alcohol, baby. Rubbing alcohol? Man. He was like, I wish I never was born. I'm talking about, they were, ooh. They see, I need digital rubbing alcohol in their eyes, and then light a match. Woof, yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, I need to get out of that part of my mind. Y'all gonna think I'm really crazy. I don't want to tell y'all all that. It'll go too far. It'll go too far. Somebody give me a movie, because it can't be real life. I tell you. Y'all know I'm a real one now. I tell y'all, and I'm not joking. You done seen me in movies. I keep telling y'all. Like, oh man, I done dealt with the clock of life though. I say I'm not done. I'm gonna get some more before the clock of life is up. That's for sure. I'm gonna be on some more screens if they're not the ones I make for my damn self. But I'm saying I will get some other, Hollywood level, massive money behind it, productions to be a part of, because I made too many connections from people who already told me. I take it very seriously when somebody say, hey man, I got a role for you. I'd be like, did you hear what you just said? All right, you understand that's like for life. You just, you may as well get that tatted on your arm. On this day, I promise Joseph R. Wheeler III an opportunity. As long as you are breathing, that's a coupon. Do you understand that? Okay, as long as we understand that, we need to be clear. See, if you want to see why I'm so serious about it, look back at my character I did for Cyberpunk 2077. I made up a fan piece for all my people who play the game and understand what I'm talking about. Shout out to Michael Pondsmith always. I always mention Mike when I mention his concept. And yes, props forever to CD Projekt Red. But as they even say, he's like, when they were college kids playing Cyberpunk in Poland, they would have never had nothing to play if it wasn't for Mike Pondsmith's vision. This black man from California who is a freaking genius. He is to Star Wars. What Star Wars is to Lucas is what Cyberpunk is to Michael Pondsmith. All right, not the genre, because the genre's bigger than him. Mike himself says his favorite movie was Blade Runner. And then there's the book, or a couple of books that he always notes, that were the main inspirations, combine that with Blade Runner as to why he came up with what he came up with for what became Cyberpunk. And by the time, because there's various versions of Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk, just by itself, of course it is a genre, but the name of a game, the tabletop game, is what he created way back in the 80s. I was a little kid staring at the box, like, I don't know what that is, but I like the way that box looked. I like that box art. And I'm still that guy. At 40, I ain't ashamed, man. I'm about to turn 50, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's right. But when I was a little kid, going to my first comic book shop, Titan Comics, shout out to Titan Comics, man, forever, stand the test of time, the one that's left, but the ones that been closed, because it was a chain, but the original off of Riverdale Road, College Park, stand up CP, College Park, yeah, Riverdale Road, that was my first ever comic book shop, and they had some serious, weird, nerdy people who hung out up in there and played D&D and all that stuff in the back room. And you always wondered what the hell was going on back there, because it was like a little curtain. You couldn't see, but you could hear them like So I'm gonna become a such and such spell master. Hold on, you got to roll for that. Okay, I'm gonna roll the dice. Oh my God, he got it. That's right. And then I'm bringing in my dragon, and I'm gonna do it. And you like, damn, they got all that going on in the back room. Like, kids' imagination, you seeing it, you know. But the box art always got me. I bought a few games just so I could look at the guys. Never even damn played the game. I remember I had an old set. Somebody gave me that, I think, from D&D, like one of the first box sets ever. I tried to play it with my friends. Didn't nobody had the patience. It was middle school. Didn't nobody stick to it. We messed around with that for about 2 weeks and then went to talking about, I don't know, favorite cartoons and something else. You know, kids get distracted so damn quick. It didn't last no time. But I do remember drawing up my characters, and they gave me one more thing to have a theme to draw something. I love, you know, I'm a visual artist first, if you didn't know, if you're completely new to the channel. Drawing, painting, all that was my original forte, and forever will be skills I hold. This, you know, when you're a Jedi for life. Sword, stay sharp. But you know, I transferred a lot of that energy into becoming an actor, writer, producer, all these things in film. So that is why I did this Cyberpunk fan piece, because of how much I love that game. And I might even play tonight. Sometimes I just cut on Cyberpunk because they just had the new update, which really wasn't that much of an update to me. I was like, y'all made all that big deal for what? This ain't all. They ain't do too much. I mean, okay. So you play the game, you know what I'm talking about. I can't say that enough because I know my audience. We doing multi-niche content, so you could be here for the fishing. It's like, why you ain't talking about fishing? It's coming. We gonna always get to some fishing. Trust that. Why you ain't talking about travel? That's easy. I can talk about that next sentence. Trust. You know, style. Hey, I'm style if I'm on camera, so you ain't gotta worry about that. You getting that every time you see me. But anyway, I mean, even if it's a bad day, you know, right? You know what I'm saying? If the stubble is coming in, I know I got some nice stubble, you know. But anyway, seriously though, that doggone game, the Delamain cab ride is the dopest thing they added. Now, I'm saying that without having looked at the new vehicles. They say they got some new vehicles. I love to buy the vehicles. And I got pretty much all the flyest vehicles in the game. I got one. I left a lot of the little rinky-dink, you know, crap. But I will not front though. I've hopped in a few of those in the game at times. I'll be like, this little thing is fast as hell. Like, they're fun. Some of them things that look ugly as hell, but they small, they're fun though. They're fun to drive in the game. So, you know, when I get bored, I try to keep my money up, go around, do some hits on some gangsters, clear out the neighborhoods, make it safe for the people to walk again, collect all their junk and sell it. You know, that's what you do in the game pretty much, unless you got a real mission, which I prefer. And once you stack up your chips, you know, and you ain't got your body built up, because like my character's so built up. I've been maxed out street cred. I'm trying to max out, and I've been maxed out my whatever the other level is. Like, both my levels are maxed, but the level I'm trying to max now is I've never even seen anybody do a video on exactly what happens when you get past the level of cyber psychosis, which is where you've had so much cyberware put into your body that you're a living cyborg. Like you just maybe a brain with a robot body. Like, you barely human anymore, and you lose your mind because of it. And you might just start going on violent rampages and craziness. But I've never been in the game and something happened where I knew that's what was about to happen. And I can't seem to get my cyberware up enough to crack this little lock that it has. I'm about to look that up. You know, everybody got something online to tell you how to do it. But I want to know how to do it and what the hell happens. Like, you know, what's so special about that? If it can be done, it must unlock another fun part of the game for you to see something about the character you can't believe. You know, I mean, I know he's gonna probably get you murked every time because the police gonna come 2,000 times harder for you. They're gonna send every one of the max tax and all them at you, and I've never beat them. I mean, I've dipped around and I think I knocked a few of them off a few times, but I didn't. Man, please. The max tags, ooh. they be on you till it's over. And the only way you get away is if you go hide. And that's the few times I did that and managed. But other than that, your character you're gonna get pixelated. As I call my show, they're gonna bust them pixels, busting pixels, y'all. Busting pixels. That's the ONYXCON code for gaming. That's what we call it when I do my gaming content. If you ever seen our logo, I am gonna get some shirts with that made too, y'all. Trust me, merch is definitely high on the order. But these are all things that can be only done when we get monetized. I got to get the flow. We don't have the monthly flow. We got the what it look like. I don't know. Still trying flow. You understand? That's not even just old. That's not reflective of the energy I see. Like I was looking at, I got my I'm remembering the tangent I did and what I was gonna tell y'all, but it's okay. Anyway, I got my weekly recap. And it said that in 1 week, we had 9.6 thousand views. Now, I know when I look at that number, as amazing as it is, that does not literally mean 9.6 thousand people were like the 2 people watching me now, or the 4 people who put 4 thumbs up and spent at least 30 seconds with me. They're mostly like the people who got mad when I said, oh, look at that, I had 20 people in here. I wonder how many are trolls. 10. It's like them fools, them little punks jump off immediately like, oh, you talking about me? Yeah, I'm talking about your punk ass. Ain't nobody scared of you, fool. You on the wrong channel for that. This is real life over here. I don't give a damn about no internet. If I'm breathing, I'm talking through my phone, I'm alive, you alive. What's up? Get off my damn channel. And when I talk like that, and they realize this dude is for real, this old ass dude will kick my ass in real life if I ever tried him, yeah, I'm that guy. Not because I'm that guy, because I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. And the difference is, a lover will live. His passion, her passion to live is more than the passion to prove to somebody that they bad. See, fighters want to get scores. That's why they compete in competitions. Even if it ain't for no money, and they just want to be, I was the baddest fighter, I did it. I'm not a fighter. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be scarred. I don't want to be nothing. If I ever feel threatened, it's to live. And that's why I tell people when they come on trolling us, I say, don't do that. Because I'm on here trying to find out a way to add to my life, to add to other people's lives. This is about income. This is so much deeper than this man you see on the screen. I am legion. I am backed up by people. People want to come to Atlanta, you won't be able to come to Atlanta. And this ain't no rapper talk. This ain't the guy who talking about blocks and naming streets. And I ain't talking about none of that silly shit. I know people from the mayor's office to organizations. And most importantly, I'm in tune with my spirit and the rest of the universe. I'm protected by all the religious folk will love this, some real godliness. Some real otherworldliness. And so far, so great to be turning 50. So it's not to be played with. When I say leave that childish junk at home. If that's what you about, this ain't your place. Don't be over here. And they still be curious because the evil is like, I never seen somebody who even talk like that. He ain't saying that stupid stuff like they all say. And it bothers them. So they're intrigued. But that's why I think they keep revisiting. But what we're going to end up doing eventually is we're going to outpower them with the people who are legit. And that's when this channel's going to take off. That's when we're going to get monetized. That's when we're going to rip. You think it's been fun when I'm having show enough fun on this channel? That's when we're going to have a ball. When it's pure. Because when it's more pure, I ain't going to have to say nothing. They're going to be on them, man. They're going to be like... I've seen people who have that good energy on their channels when they go live. And I don't know how they do it. They go live without the restrictions. They let people talk. I ain't letting no fool talk. You ain't... No, hell no. But they'll have a moderator and all these other folks. And the chat will be, man... I'd be like, man, people really be trying to lose their life online. I don't understand it. It's like, it's weird to me. That's freaking weird. For all the reasons we all trying to live, and you want. But pardon me, y'all, because you know what? I catch myself sometimes once I drop a package and get back in the car and realize, man, why are you talking about that again? You really make them think they're important when you do that sometimes. This is why I be having a conversation with myself. Like, but it's because I know I get tired of that drop off and I'm trying to get these goals. Yeah, this is me talking to myself. I be like, but I know, but at the same time, I want these fools to know progress. And it's like, and then my other stuff be like, you know that. Nothing can stop what's meant. What is destined is going to happen. But yes, it's frustrating when you see in a week you had 9,000, basically 10,000, because 9.6. 9,600 and whatever the other numbers are, because you know how that means. When that's what that really means. It's 9 point something. It's 9,673 or something. You know, it's almost 10,000. But you know how many people that really is? I saw a thing one time, one of the motivational type videos for people doing content like this and everything, and it said, do you really understand how many people 50 people are, or how many people 100 people are, or how many people 500 people are, or what? And it showed every time it said a new number, it had a room full of that many people and a podium with somebody in front of them talking. I said, yup, exactly. And I'm a pretty good gauge of that because I've done talks. I keep telling y'all, for those who've never been to the event ONYXCON, when we were doing the convention, is why we started the whole thing. I used to average 30 vendors from all over the country, mostly from the East Coast, all the way up New York, Philly, Chicago, Midwest too, you know what I'm saying? Detroit, some folk from Florida, all over the South. And then the same would be for my crowd. But then also, I get people from as far from as California coming to Atlanta to be at ONYXCON. All the way from Delaware. And, you know, I mean, again, that's still East Coast, but I'm just saying the places you don't hear a lot. You know, I never get this year, we had somebody from there. And I said, wow. And then it came that day for a one-day event. It was a one day that year. We had a one day. I said, man, a fan is a fan, for real. You know, people really rocking with you or curious because it's their first real event. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you just never know, as people always tell you, when you start losing hope and wondering why you're doing what you're putting all this time into this thing, and you can't pay your freaking bills sometimes. You know, I was about to say the line because it just seemed to go with that. Oh, you ain't got nothing to eat. No, I'm gonna find something to eat. See, I know how to fish. Oh, I know. I'm gonna find something to eat. By the damn bills, because I can't control it. I can control, make sure I find myself something to eat. I'm never gonna be. I won't allow myself. I put it like, I'll never like to say the word never, but I won't allow myself for any society or whatever to dictate my ability to feed myself. That's a human right. You're not gonna take that. I've been taught too many skills. I know too many ways, and I know how to. I know how to cook. So that's the main reason some people don't feel like they get low, because they waiting on somebody else to make it for them. I don't need nobody to make a meal for me. I know how to cook. You know what I mean? And I'm a damn good cook. Ain't just, you know, just cooking to survive. No, I'm woo. I gotta be careful. I used to jokingly say this. Now, the older I get way serious about it. I got to watch who, with the ladies I date, gets to see that side of me, because that's too much of an uncommon talent to take for granted and think that it's just like how they say when women are out here dealing with scallywag ass dudes who want to leech off of them because they figure, oh shit, she can cook, she can do this, she can do that. Well, guess what? Women be the same way if they don't know how to cook and stuff. They be like, oh my gosh, this guy, you know, she in her head thinking, he look good, he cook, he know how to do this, and he throw it down in bed. Girl, they be trying to get up under you, brother. They be trying to clinch the title. You understand? So you got to be careful about who you show all your superpowers. You might be to show them a few of them, but don't show them the whole damn deck sometimes, because they ain't ready. They not ready. And they'll be on some shady business versus true business of why they want to be in your life, because they know they're not worthy sometimes. They know they're not. They know they're not ready, worthy, or up to par, but they just don't want to. They're like, man, I finally got in the high cotton. I don't want to leave. I want to, shit, it feel good over here. You know what I mean? So, be careful, y'all. Be careful. Y'all hear me, youngins? Be careful. That's for the women and the men. You can just reverse it for whoever you into. You know, whatever you like, you know, just reverse the mental, and it's all going to sound the same, I promise you. Yeah. Be careful with it. I'm not saying don't show your talents, and I'm not one for holding back. I'm saying, you know, peel them off like cards in a deck. Like, you know, okay, I'm going to show you this one. Okay, now it's your move. Okay, I'm going to show you this one. You know, it's like, don't be just like, bow, there you go, what you got? You know, you throw out 5 cards and they just like, they have a heart attack. You know, they can't handle that. They can't. Oh, man, sorry, y'all. That signal got weird on me. But we back, you know what I'm saying? So, but as I was saying, I'm going to keep it moving. You see, I'm hitting all the elements today. I was just talking about basically relationship goals in the art life. You know how there's some relationship goals in the art life for you. That's what that last topic was. I'm gonna round it back into talking about with the gaming thing when I was talking about the film, ONYXCON film. Okay, you feel me? Busting pixels. Okay, do you feel me? My gamers, where you at? I was saying I did a film, a fan film I want y'all to see called Unfinished Business. Cyberpunk 2077, Unfinished Business. Look that up. Right here. Look it up on my channel. Look it up right here on ONYXCON. And you're going to see yours truly as one of my favorite fan characters of all time. Meaning, you know, I created this in the world of something already established. And I based it on that. And I did my own kind of semi-cosplay. I mean, what am I talking about? It was a cosplay. When I say semi, I'm saying I didn't have like no full fit. You don't see me standing head to toe in some really cool stuff, but I am looking damn cool, if I don't say so myself. And I kept it simple. It was more about my facial makeup that I did myself using some very simple tools, and to make it look like I had cyber implants like they do in the game, and folk be having these little things in their face that show that they have metal in their body and stuff. And then I had some spikes on my head, which I always loved. That is one of the dopest looks in the game. You can get spikes into your chrome. Like, I mean, people do that in real life. You can get an incision in your skull and have real spikes drilled into your, screw into your skull. And that's basically what my character had, because he a different type cat like that. Mantis from Atlantis. Check him out. Mantis from Atlantis. Definitely. Straight out of the ATL. Straight out the ATL. So, where I want to park here. Get up in here. See what we're doing today. Waiting on the orders. Everybody looking like they've been here for a minute. That's never good, but whew! That's the way I like it, and that's the way I like it. That song all up in my head. I heard it earlier today, and it's just been in my head ever since. Some joints I play at least 2-3 times a week, if not more. Sometimes daily. If it's one of my ones that get me hyped and get out here and get the work done, it's a daily vitamin. Sometimes I need 2 or 3 of them. Let me get that double dose, triple dose. Yeah, I need that. Because that's the way I like it. Yeah. You. Oh my gosh, so many people need to hear that. Because the dream is beautiful, y'all. The true dream of ONYXCON is so gorgeous. And it's such a weird thing when you've already had an era of a certain type of prosperity when something was in one form, and then with circumstances you switch the format. You know, I always tell y'all the story if you pay attention, how we were at Comic-Con, but once the pandemic happened and everything, you know, I switched gears. I made everything about being online, which a lot of Comic-Cons did. But then it slowly, with after, I'd say about 22, 23, about 23, 24. Like right now, there's only a few still doing them as digital online cons. Because now that the big ones came back, people forget about you real quick. They're like, why would I watch something on my computer? I can go to the real thing and stand in lines and be out there with a zillion people and risk the chance of getting sick again and a new wave of stuff. And I'm not saying cons aren't fun when there's a lot of people. I loved both times I've been to Comic-Con. International in San Diego, one of the biggest in the world, if not. That thing, it's amazing. It's something I always say for anybody who's a fan of all these popular arts. Excuse me. Go see that. You have to see that at least once in life. You got to experience that thing. It's amazing. It's absolutely incredible for that many people to be in one place and generally all have similar taste in pop arts. And there's so much for everybody that can't nobody say they didn't see nothing they like. You gonna walk until you hit a corner where you like, well, I don't really like vampires, and I don't like, you know, superheroes, and I don't like anime, and I don't like, ooh, gremlins. You know, it's like, it's just like that. You know, I was like, ooh, Michael Jackson. Like, I remember one of the years I was there, this dude had at his booth. It was the real life wax sculpture, one of them wax sculptures of Mike with the red jacket on, the full fit from Thriller. It looked like Michael Jackson was standing in Comic-Con. Creepiest ever. Because when you passing by, you're like, whoa, what the hell? That's cool. And everybody's waiting in line to take a picture with it, of course. But it's like, damn. You know, and then you go over to the Weta Studios, and they got the giant full-scale Uruk-hai from Lord of the Rings. I took a picture in front of that. That was dope. That was one of the highlights. Everything at their booth just insane. The detail is incredible in those statues. And that's another thing I want to get into when, again, you got to have a bag right. I hate how money's always in the way of good things for people who really understand it. See, there's people who are into statues who just do it on some ego stuff. They're fans of the movie. They're fans of the show. But when they buy a statue, I've seen people's content. I can tell who's really into some stuff beyond just the movie. They really appreciate the art. It's not just a status symbol for them. It's not like the statue is the version. It's like the statue becomes the nerd version of somebody buying a damn Mercedes Benz to show that they got money. Like, there's people who are like that. And it's pretty obvious when you watch some of the people who are collecting and do even channels about it and talk about it and stuff. You can tell, like, they're picking it. When you hear what they say about what makes a statue nice or not nice to them, or the way it looks, they get picky about stuff that is like, are we looking at the same thing? Because this shit is incredible, right? Like, stuff coming out of Prime 1 and, oh man, I don't even know. I always know to say Prime 1. That's one of my favorite studios, but there's a zillion new ones. And they're getting some of the same contracts that Prime and other big boys done had for years, which I don't know how that works in that world, but I've been curious of it too, because you talk about, see, let me go hard on the dream, y'all. When I said earlier, I said it and I didn't break my speech. I said, yo, you know, the ones who be with us the most, they're going to be on the back of the yacht with me one day. I meant what I said. I meant what I said. And I said that the way I said it like that because I think on levels of having money I don't even have. Because money, as I tell y'all all the time, is not the beginning of the equation for me. It should not be the beginning of anybody's equation, but damn sure not for me. And damn sure not for anybody who can feel and appreciate the wisdom of what we share here with the gospel of ONYXCON. All right? Not religious when I say gospel either. Okay, I want to make it clear. I just use the words for what they really mean. Okay, so I'm saying that's my version of gospel when I speak of the the elements and the ways we go about things with ONYXCON. And I'm saying, I like to first have respect for whatever it is, then have the power, then have the money. That's always first. So if you're not worrying about the money and you can just get into your desire for why you would want to collect something or have something, possess something, showcase something. The number one reason I collect anything I've ever collected, or the number one reasons, because there's so many, I've learned that make it important over time, or make it a thing where, like I say, you got to know that if you had to sell everything, almost everything, because when people say they sold everything, they don't really mean that. They're going to keep a few things, especially if they're a collector. What would you sell? You know, what could go and what not go? So like I say, some of these people who just buy stuff for status, and you hear the people that talk like that about them statues that be costing $2,000 and $10,000, up to $10,000 and crazy money. If you're not into, like, if you're walking through the show, I get it. We all see properties we're not familiar with, characters we're not familiar with, whatever. But if you just don't know, it's almost sometimes best not to say so much about it when you're doing a review of it. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. Cool. But don't like pick it apart in a weird way when you don't even know the name of the character and how dope what you're saying. Because somebody else who just wished they were standing in your shoes at that moment is mad that they couldn't afford to even go to Comic-Con. You get to be there, and damn, did he stay in here? Some little wasp or something. I'm trying to get him out of here. It wasn't a wasp. It was some type of, I mean, it was in that family, but he ain't the kind that's aggressive. So I was trying to let a little punk behind go. I was really trying to take him out, but he didn't die. And I pinched him. You know, you pinch something and it don't die. I said, all right, that must be meant. I'm gonna let your ass go. But then I tried to let him go, and he acted like he was flying back into the car. I was like, see, now you stupid. This is why you can't let folk go sometimes. You got anyway. Sometimes you can't let the enemies go. You gotta just. This ends now. This ends now. Oh my gosh. So I was saying, you know, a lot of times, like sometimes those folks who got that money like that, they'll just buy this stuff. It's just status for them, you can tell, versus they really love whatever they're collecting. You know, they just want to be able to, it's like what happened back in the 90s. And for anybody too young to know this, when the first Batman movie came out, I love telling this story because it's one of the greatest examples in history of that mind state being such a problem. People who are adults who not only grew up on comics but love comic books. When the Batman movie came out, it was one of the biggest things that ever happened in 1990. You had a Prince soundtrack, one of the greatest musicians of all time. It was slamming. You had Jack Nicholson playing the Joker, which is incredible. I admit, to this Wayne, or for Batman, but he pulled the hell off of the role. He just got into his own space with it and made his own version of both. And it was acceptably cool for its time and what it was and all that. And I give him his respect as an actor. He's a hell of an actor. But I didn't really, excuse me, it's time for some more water. He didn't really, I don't know. Ain't nothing else to say about that. I don't have to keep talking about that part. The point is, because of the popularity of the movie, when the comic books came, every comic book that came out around that time, and especially anything that had bat, if it had the word bat on it, it was getting ripped off shelves. It was so bad that it's what they called the comic book glut era, the beginning of it. Because for that year and a few years thereafter, they say that's when some of the worst industry standards got created from DC to Marvel and all the other ones that was out at that time. Because there was a lot of other new companies and imprints that came out and stuff. I think Valiant came out around that time and other stuff like that makes Bloodshot. Am I saying it right? Yeah, Bloodshot. Because there's so many characters with blood at the first part of the name and then something else. But yeah, if you ever saw that movie, Vin Diesel, it was actually really good. I don't care what nobody says, critics talking ish. That was a damn good superhero movie. And the special effects was insane, especially that last scene. That last scene is everything. That last fight scene, insane. And there was all these other dope scenes throughout the whole movie, but that one, woo, they did that damn thing. Shout out to Vin Diesel for that. I want them to do a part 2. I really want them to. They left it where it can get a sequel, but because of all the critics and stupid fans talking ish about, well, not real fans, what am I saying? Not fans, haters saying they didn't like it and this and man, if y'all don't stop listening to these goofies that don't even know if they want breakfast in the morning but gonna die if they don't eat. Like, you can't listen to people like that ask their opinion of anything. It was brilliantly written, but that's a whole nother topic. I need to do, you know what? I wonder, did I ever do an official? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Man, I be forgetting what I done. I did. I was about to say, have I ever done an official review of that movie? Yeah, because I went and saw it. That was literally the last movie I saw before the theaters shut down during COVID. If you remember, that's the timeline of it. It was one of the last things you could see that was comic book related that hit theaters, like right before the theaters shut up. You couldn't go to movies. And we were all locked down for real, for real. Yep, and I was in there by myself. It was awesome. It was awesome. I don't think there was anybody in that theater. I don't remember. Nobody. And then when they finally opened up again, I think the first thing I saw was the new Candyman. Again, I know that was by myself. Nobody else in the theater but me. That was amazing. Amazing. Great feeling. But anyway, rest in peace forever, Tony Todd, the king. Candyman and so many other roles forever. Star Trek, you name it, that's the man. I still ain't, I've never done an official memorial thing for that. I do need to do that for Tony. And I did one, but I didn't do what I consider an official. I'm talking about a real, just how much I loved his work and his presence as an actor and stuff. I still need to do a more official one, I feel like. But, not on the plate sometimes, day to day. I be thinking, I don't take things like that lightly. If I'm going to do one of those, I'm going to do it for real. I'm going to go hard on it. I'll leave it alone, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it takes a minute. Speaking of which, I did do a review of Jimmy, All Is With Me, the Andre 3000 depiction of Jimi Hendrix, which, I wanted to like that movie so much. I was cruising with it for a minute, and then I saw so many holes and wondered what I was looking at, and then it hit the bomb with some scenes of abuse that would never happened according to his actual still living girlfriend. These goofies didn't even wait. I ain't saying the cast or anybody, but I'm saying, the ego of some people writing things. Man, why would you dare do that? Like, why would you even write something about somebody like that? Period. You can that's the end of the sentence. But to add insult to injury, they're still alive and you don't think they're going to not come for you about that? Like, the woman's still alive. And I would have been just as mad. Every article I read where she was pissed off saying that Jimmy had never hit her like that, never had them kind of conflicts with her. He was not that kind of person. Where is all this coming from? They added a character in the movie that wasn't even in his life. Like, who was that? They made him up just for the movie. And I said, God damn. So that stuff gets lame, man. It's more than lame. It is the definition of lame. It's lame in the brain. Like, why? I don't even understand why some people are allowed to. I don't think that should be legal. You shouldn't be able to do that to somebody's life and legacy, because now there's people who believe that was who he was, and that's not cool at all. So anyway, that was dropping soon. Hold on, y'all. Let me check this. Whew. Yep. Appreciate y'all keeping me company while I'm waiting on this. So, I was gonna say, this I was trying to go back to the thing I was talking about before I got off onto the Dre thing and all that. I was talking about statues and really cool ones and the expense of it, and how some people who got it just buy it as a flex versus they really love this stuff. I'm gonna talk. Yeah, y'all. As I was saying, right? So I was talking about, the statues, the art statues. I mean, all statues are art, but that's the phrase they use, which always cracks me up too. In that world is, it's hard to search for those. Like sometimes you put in the word and it don't come up because the computer don't understand. But if you find the right little edge of the algorithm, it's like, oh, those. It's like, yeah, and it's not just superhero stuff. I mean, my dad collected those, and things made in that style for years. I mean, first of all, they've existed since eternal, but I'm saying when they started making the different resin cast and different the ones made out of all these new materials that are like kind of like stone, and some of them are plastic and vinyl, and there's a million different things they make them out of, and some of them mix those things because one material gives you a look that's more realistic to what it's imitating. Like you got somebody standing on top of some rocks. Well, if you do it into such and such stone, it looks like stone for real anyway. It's already got a natural built-in feel to it. So when the sculptor makes it and then they cast it in that, it already has it's like, yo, that really is rock. That's crazy, And then they, coat them sometimes, and then the paint jobs, oh my God, that's what makes that stuff come alive. Like, I've seen some stuff and I'm just like, man, this stuff is beautiful. This is really, like, mark my words, when they have an edition where they're like, they're only making, because they make them limited edition. They be like, we're only making 100 of these, 400, 2,000. Usually it's up a couple of thousand or so. I don't know if they make any super big runs where it'd be like 10,000 editions. I don't know. But the really, really nice ones that are big and stuff, and even the small ones that are like some of the best detailed stuff that really show the characters and are so unique that it's not like the same old stuff that every company kind of does generically with it. No, like this one's a unique one. Like there's this, to this day, I always think about the ones that I would have to have if I get that bag right and build what would be that department, so to speak, of the ONYXCON museum, because I don't look at collecting like it's just for me. I look at it like I really want people who don't have as much opportunity to necessarily go all the way over to, if you're in Atlanta and I had let me tell you something. Man, there's so much in my head, y'all, so much passion I got. I just don't even know how to put my words sometimes for what I'm thinking to make it clear to my various audiences. But if you've been to Atlanta and you ever been to Hammond House Museum is a black arts gallery that was founded on the premise of a black collector of black art, Dr. Hammond. Dr. Hammond and his wife, they collected black artists. He was a prominent black doctor in the West End. He had a very nice home, and instead of just being I'm a wealthy doctor and I get all this beautiful art and I'm gonna keep it to myself. No, one of his dying wishes was he donated his home to be, if I'm not telling the story wrong, his home was donated, or his estate somehow, some way, to honor his legacy of collecting art and make it a place for the arts. So it became not only a place to show art, but like perform art, everything. I've seen so many performances there. I've been to weddings there. They do all that. Hammond's House is just one of them places, And as we continue, yes, we are back. We are back in. Go tell a friend. We back in. Oh wow. So I was saying, the Hammond House Museum, I was talking about the inspiration of that and how the whole house was dedicated to the continuum of celebrating and focusing and featuring black artists, up and coming, already known, well established. They have the permanent collections. Technically it's a museum and a gallery. And I think it says Hammond House Museums and Galleries, because that's what it has. It has, upstairs gallery, downstairs gallery, permanent galleries, and depending on what's on exhibition, you know, they'll rotate out the shows and put up work from the permanent collection while they're waiting on the new stuff, or keep one room all the permanent collection and rotate that, because there's so much, they'll put up, you know, different stuff from time to time. And I love that culture, and I grew up in that in my college years especially, and it was a lot of what inspired me to want to be a fine artist at first, and then I learned how that world works, and I didn't like a lot of it. Not Hammond's. Hammond's forever loved. Forever loved to Hammond's house. I'm speaking generally of the fine art world and how it can be on its uglier side. But Hammond's was a beautiful space, and to this day it is. And I haven't been there in probably about has it been about 2 years maybe? But I used to visit all the time because a good friend of mine was the head curator, Kevin Sipp. And I would just go by and hang out with him. Once we got to be friends, it was just a routine that when I had time, I'd go by and check on him, and we talk art, talk life, talk just everything, what artists do, philosophize and all that good stuff, right? And so I always had envisioned, and I still do, a lot of things, not just this idea, but I always say, like, you know, when some people think of, oh, I want to get rich and I want to have mansions and all these things, yeah, I want to definitely in my lifetime enjoy my spaces when I can afford to have nice places to live and stuff, right? I mean, I currently live in a nice place. I'm not saying where I'm at now is not nice, but it's also kind of crappy in its own right because it's a shared space, you know what I'm saying? And therefore, you're dealing with other people's stuff and, you know. And so everybody don't treat their stuff right. Everybody don't respect where they're at. They don't respect the opportunity to have 4 walls around them, or more, maybe more walls. More typically in America, I don't give a damn how slum the place is. You're gonna have more than 4 walls on average, you know. And so, so yeah, you know, I get tired of just seeing how people take for granted stuff here. And in this, you know, we know it's the farce of the land of all this opportunity and freedom, but only one part is true. Sometimes you have way more than a lot of people in the world under the same mental pressures, but you still have more, because if you just change your mental, which is the same for even people all across the world, but I can only speak of this American version of it. You change your mental, and if people just, you know what am I about to say? Never mind. People ain't gonna do nothing different. They're gonna be on, the older I get, I see why people get more and more like, ain't shit gonna change, it's gonna be the same way. I ain't gonna go that far, but I will say what can change is such a minority, which is why I always tell y'all are the few to proud, and I've always said, my goal here on YouTube, man, if I can get 100,000, if I can get my first 10,000 subscribers over here and can pay my bills to where all I have to do is function as the administrator and run my organization, I'm good. Like, literally, I'm good. That's enough for just Joseph to keep doing what y'all love and watch it get better, right? Richer and richer, more unique, all types of new experiences I'm gonna share with y'all. But beyond sharing moments, like I go to a convention, I go to a car show, I go on a trip, which is 10 times everything I just said in various ways, right? When once it's all said and done and you leave your legacy, you've transitioned to the next level, you've upgraded, you done upgraded to the next level in life, the next dimension. That is when what's gonna really matter most. I can keep walking and talking. Let me walk and talk with y'all, because I got stuff to do. You know, that is when you can get to the point where if you've acquired spaces and you had the wealth to have more than one home, or even just one really nice home, and if you got your paperwork and all your, you know, finances in order, you did your will right, and you can dedicate that to be a space for art, that's the kind of stuff I'm aiming to do. And that's just one level. There's a whole nother level. I don't speak too loudly about this a lot of times because I just don't know who's listening. Some people want to try, they'll do anything to sabotage greatness. But as I get older, I've learned to say, can't nobody sabotage what's meant. Because when you know it's meant, it will happen. So I even have a concept of leaving a full school, an arts school. And I mean a real school. But the one thing about that idea that's fading as I get older is seeing how education, at least in America, is getting so crazy with the expense. And if you think you're gonna start a school and do anything different from a standard that's already been established, your school ain't gonna be open too long, because you're gonna have to have some insane tuition or something to make that work. You know, and that's unfortunate, but that's what it is. So I feel like you gotta be realistic about all that stuff, and you gotta say to yourself, well, what might still be possible in the next 5 to 10 years or 20 years better with that idea? Because if by then it's not still an idea, more than likely that won't be. But I still like my idea, and I know it's a worthy idea. And I'm talking about a full-scale situation. I'm talking about having all the stuff that I always wished my schools had when I was in art school. Because most art schools do not have any type of, I mean, they can, but if they do have extracurricular activities, you know, sports and athletics and stuff, it's usually super limited, if at all. When I was in Brooklyn, they had one team. It was in inner city Brooklyn basketball, and they were good. They were pretty good. They weren't the best, but they would always have pretty good games and give them hell when they hit the court, whoever they played or whatever. And to this day, on some style stuff, I need me a Pratt jersey. That would just be dope to have a Pratt basketball jersey. Damn sure earned it. I was there. They need to donate me one of them. Ooh, Guayabera. My favorite styles of shirts. Guayabera. But it's not on sale. It need to be. But I was saying, and that was my size too, for a Guayabera. That was definitely my size. But they had a basketball team, but they didn't have a band. How you an arts school and you don't have a music department, but you got an athletic team? Why wouldn't you have a band rocking in the stadium, in the bleachers, every game? I understand you ain't gonna have no football team because you ain't got no damn field. But you know what's crazy? They could have had that too, because they had a field when I was there. And it was big enough for, if they had really conditioned it, cut it, leveled it, done all the stuff you're supposed to do, it could have been a real football team at the school. It's crazy, man. People be having the stuff that they don't even use. Now, I'm saying that not knowing what they've done since, because I know they've definitely improved the campus. And it's a whole nother place that I didn't go to school at for that 1 year. It was just my freshman year. And I came on back and finished Atlanta College of Art. No regrets to that. But even there, you talk about not having it. The Atlanta College of Art was strictly the visual art thing. That's it. They didn't have nothing else like that. And I was like, that's whack as hell. Come on, y'all. Y'all should have, I mean, we're in the South. We should have had a band. We should have had teams. We should have had every type of art that you can imagine as classes and curriculum. Because all of that is art. And even the sports, if you create the most dynamic players in the world, after you get past technique and all that, now creativity comes in. And you get a league full of Jordans. You get them teams that people talk about forever, where they be like, man, the 1996, the 19 whatever, this team and that team from that era and that. Man, there was 10 players on there. They were like a unit, man. They were amazing. that's how that happens. But anyway, if I go live again, it might be the next store I go to. But I'm gonna go ahead and dip because I feel like I'm babbling at this point. There's really not an audience, so it's been nice. Peace.